Senator Josh Hawley has reintroduced his bill to ban stock trading in Congress. This time, he is calling it the PELOSI Act. PELOSI standing for Preventing Elected Leaders from Owning Securities and Investments.
This bill would prohibit members of Congress and their spouses from holding or trading individual stocks and would require members found in violation to return their earnings to American taxpayers. Look, Robby, this just seems like good politics to me. Look, Nancy Pelosi has been asked about this before. She has dodged and given answers that basically show that she thinks that she's above the kind of, Chinese walls that exist for people who work in banking or the law, who aren't allowed to trade on the insider information that comes through their employment working on these various kinds of cases. And the impunity with which she's behaved, I think, has gotten to the point where it's literally destructive to the interests of the Democratic Party. I mean, take a look at this clip and tell me if you don't think this is just excellent politics on the part of Republicans right now.
Should members of Congress and their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress?
No, I don't know to the second one. We have a responsibility to report in the stock, on the stock, but I'm not familiar with that 5-month review, but if people aren't reporting, they should be.
Why should they be banned?
Because this is a free market and we're a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that. Yes, ma'am.
Nancy Pelosi asked by a reporter whether or not she thinks her ability to trade stocks and insider information should be curbed. She says, no, it's a free market economy. Yeah. Now, she got so much pushback for that, she ended up having to back down, and they ostensibly were working on a bill to ban stock trading. But as The Intercept reported, I think back in September, there's a lot of indication that the bill was specifically designed to fail in the House. There were discrepancies between it and an earlier bill that basically set up members to say, oh, I object to these discrepancies. And so it got quietly killed. So the Democrats had their chance to have a bite at the apple. Nancy Pelosi thwarted it. And now Josh Hawley's up at bat.
I just want to say, and I say this every time we play this clip, right? I support a free market. It is not free market-y to let the government officials who are making the rules that structure and constrain the free market to engage in stock play themselves.
100%.
That is very different. So she's cynically using the language of free markets there. But what am I saying? She's such a historic figure. I think it is so kind of Josh Hawley to pay tribute to the legacy of the first woman speaker, stunning and brave of her, and to honor her contributions with a law named after her. What I didn't know, Josh Hawley, feminist. Who knew? and he's just, it's really wonderful to see this bipartisanship, this recognition of her legacy and her leadership, the PELOSI Act. What a tribute to her contributions.
This is a beautiful.
How can Democrats oppose this? Do they hate women? Do you hate women, Democrats?
Well, first you get Hakeem Jeffries doing acrostics, right? That weird poem. A is for America and how much I love thee, or whatever the heck he did during his little announcement speech during the speakership battle. The Democrats love this. Let's see how they feel about this little bit of a letter and word play. The Preventing Elected Leaders from Owning Securities and Investments Act. I mean, that's some beautiful wordsmithing.
Yeah. Often those sound very tortured.
Right.
It doesn't sound tortured. He did a great job with that. Yeah.
It's almost as though the stars have aligned to try to finally get some justice for the American people who've been sick and tired of this behavior. I mean, Nancy Pelosi is one of the wealthiest members of Congress, and she hasn't gotten that way from her $175,000 a year salary or whatever it is. And it's disgusting.
Because women can do what men do. Girl power. Right. Girl power. Okay, there's a special place in hell for women who don't support
other
the
women
Pelosi
doing insider trading. Well, look, I do want to say Nancy Pelosi deserves all this criticism. She is hurting the Democratic Party with this kind of messaging, much more so that I would argue than whatever progressive who's fighting for Medicare for all or defund the police or whatever it is that moderate Dems always say are to blame for Democrats not doing as well in elections as they would have liked. However, there are a lot of people across the ideological spectrum, including a lot of Democrats and a lot of Republicans, who want to preserve this ability to do this. And it's this little sliver of Freedom Caucus-y Republicans who are advocating for these kind of populist moves, not these parties as a whole. And we should keep that in mind because it's likely that even the Pelosi Act, as wonderful as it sounds and as much of a winner as it seems, is going to meet some pushback.
Yeah, this is one of those issues where it's just elites versus everyone else.
Yeah.
If you polled people on this, right, left, and in between, everyone would say, yes, of course it should be banned. There are some things that only people in government could possibly support doing. Another, like eminent domain, if you survey people, like everyone is against it. Only like government planners who want the right to build. Pfizer, I believe it was a new. That was the eminent domain case. Was they were bulldozing Kilo's house so they can build a new Pfizer plant or something like that. Only government people think you should be able to do that. Survey people on that, you get universal condemnation. And this is exactly like that. This is a no-brainer for the American people. And, it's an example of the elite versus everyone else. Used to be a very, it's getting to be more partisan in some ways as the Republicans, maybe you don't think they're doing enough on policy to actually accomplish what they're saying, and I think I would agree with that. But rhetorically, they are leaning in hard to that stuff as the Democrats become the, whatever you want to call them, the managerial class.
Yeah, look, are the squad members going to come out in favor of the Pelosi Act?
You think it'd be very easy to do?
I am skeptical, but we shall see.
Girl boss, gaslight. You hate women if you don't support it. Just a stunning tribute to the legacy
All right.
of a historic woman.
Okay, Robby. Well, I'm rising for you after this.